Welcome back to Topics No One Talks About Outside of English Class. My name is CJ, ready to talk about vocational education here, there, and everywhere. Joined here with me today is, introduce yourself please.
My name is Jamie Kissel. Thanks for having me.
Hello.
How shall we begin?
Alright Jamie, what's our stance here?
Career technical education, also known as vocational education, although controversial in years past, has proven to greatly benefit the youth of today in terms of higher education, employability, and overall personal success in the student's desired career. I think it's important to understand the fundamentals of vocational education first, though.
Right. For the listeners, according to the Encyclopedia Britannica, vocational education is defined as the instruction intended to equip persons for industrial or commercial occupations. It may be obtained either formally in trade schools, technical secondary schools, or in on-the-job training programs, or more informally, by picking up the necessary skills on the job. So, in short, specialized learning for specialized jobs. Who said this was a good idea? What's wrong with regular school?
Alright, well, this wasn't always the case. Vocational education has actually been around for centuries in much smaller ways. According to Caitlin Brush from Student Cafe, things as small as a mother teaching her daughter to sew are considered early forms of vocational ed. And apprenticeships in welding, blacksmithing, and more are absolutely forms of vocational ed.
There was a fallout for it, though. It was unpopular for a while because people didn't think apprenticeships, as they were called, were significant anymore. It's picking up now.
It certainly is. Vocational education was only introduced as an official system in the early 20th century, when immigrants steadily flowed into the United States and overwhelmed the school populations. School districts decided that the immigrants and the poor would be better off in factories, but by this time, America had already passed its first laws against child labor, so the alternative was to have them sent to be trained for these specific jobs at a school of sorts, according to Brush. Obviously, this system has changed drastically. Vocational ed curriculums are optional now and offer many more careers than factory work. Students can study nursing, welding, cosmetology, all in the field to gain hands-on experience in preparation for their professional lives. We actually have a program offered and supported by East, unlike your podcast.
Thank you. That was completely unnecessary.
This school is in association with Wilco, and we have a member of the Wilco School Board here to explain a bit more about their mission, which you can find on their website.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course.
The mission of the Wilco Area Career Center is to develop, through a world-class curriculum, responsible and productive citizens who are prepared for lifelong learning. Things we focus on are cultivating and preparing future citizens through programs and staff, ensuring students have the skills, knowledge, and ability to enter directly into the workforce and continuing their education, or their entrance in some form of post-high school careers training.
Interesting. Very interesting. I've got new sources coming in regarding pros and cons for comparison's sake. Classroom.com says, it'll probably take around a year to earn a certificate in vocational education, and less time at school means a cheaper tuition. However, fees plague students over some equipment that may be required to be bought throughout the course. It's also riskier that way to switch courses if you lose interest because the equipment purchased isn't useful anymore. You'd have to pay for equipment for the other course as well. Ultimately, the difference most people pay attention to is the hands-on learning versus earning a degree and waiting for someone to hire you as you apply.
Overall, career technical education is fantastic for people like us, first world capitalist America, where the more experience and knowledge you have, the likelier you are to be hired. Roy Savion states that companies will invest in employees who already have something to bring to the table as opposed to those needing direction and guidance. There is always the risk that those who take classes don't go into that certain field of study, but it seems to be more of a worry than a real problem.
And that's fair. Another huge stigma for CTE is here. Brookings Institute words it better than me. Many observers have described that CTE is a dumping ground for lower achieving or less motivated students. My apologies. On the other hand, because CTE is not the default pathway, the students who participate must be at least somewhat motivated and informed. So if it's not the lazy way out, it's because they're merely interested in it and doesn't necessarily mean they take it seriously as a profession.
That is a good point, but this mostly applies to students in schools like Plainfield East in first world capitalist America. Even then, regardless of their final career choice, this experience builds character and prepares students for adult life. A study conducted in Malawi, one of the most poverty-stricken countries in the world with large elementary school dropout rates, enrolled 1,900 youth in a vocational education course in business to observe the effect it had on the students' lives. Results in the well-being and health portion included the following. Participating in training had strong positive effects on subject measures of well-being. Training increased the share of respondents who reported being happy and satisfied with life, and who agreed that life had improved during the last year by 5 and 7 percentage points respectively. A business-related job isn't what their guaranteed profession will be, but this knowledge will provide a trampoline for the participants to bounce off, to reach greater heights.
Wow. Beautiful. Is that all we have today? I think so.
I think so.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up. All in all, vocational education doesn't act as a wonderful way for students to expand on their knowledge on their dream job, if available in class form. It is not an easy way out, but a path to higher education in the workforce. As proven, it has the potential to benefit youth beyond the traditional classroom, their home lives made happier, and their confidence in professional environments increased. Even for students who are unsure of what they want to do, vocational education programs are a potential gateway to a lifelong career. All right. Thank you so much for your time with us today. Tune in next time whenever we discuss some other topic the average human probably wouldn't touch on. Anyway, thank you so much, Jamie.
Thank you.
Good luck
Thank you
on
so
your
much.
road to life, anyway. And we'll end it there. Thank you so much.